crew we made. Ready now, turn the page. This is where we all engage. Engage. Let the journey begin.
Welcome to Engage
with Trekkie
and Trekker. This is the podcast that boldly explores the fans behind the Star Trek fandom. And today we have another exciting guest for you. Please welcome to the show, Carrie. Carrie, welcome. Tell us a bit about you.
I am becoming more and more of a fan over the years. I'm a associate producer on Cirroc Lofton's The Seventh Rule podcast, where I am known as the Crafty Bear. It was sort of a nickname I gave myself because I do a lot of crafts. Recently got into stained glass, which I am absolutely loving.
Neat.
I for the Seventh Rule on my turns during the free for alls, I create a limerick based on something that inspires me from whatever episode we're discussing, and I shamelessly stole that page from the Delta Flyers. Thank you, Garrett and Robbie, for inspiring me for that. When I joined, I was super nervous about how am I going to stop talking, because I can tend to ramble a bit. And I had that in the back of my head and was listening to the Delta Flyers one day, and they start their recordings with a limerick and a haiku sort of summary of the episode.
Nice.
And
nice.
I'm like,
that's awesome.
I think I could do that. And mine sort of, and when I joined, we were partway through the 7th season of Deep Space Nine. Sadly, for this baseball loving fan, I joined 2 weeks too late to discuss Take Me Out to the Holosuite. I got to put in my 2 cents when we did the season 7 wrap up, so I got to mention it a little bit. So I started off with, not having done poetry since high school, I started off with haikus, because those are, you don't need to rhyme for those. It's a little, dip my toe in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we started with the next generation, I decided to stretch a little bit and decided to switch to limericks, because I knew, especially the first 2 seasons of TNG, that some of the limericks were going to write themselves.
Right.
And man, did they. Some of those episodes really did. And it's been absolute blast going through that, and we're almost done with TNG. As you can tell behind me, I love going on the cruise. My husband and I have been on, I think, 8 of them now.
Okay.
We were assimilated 3 years ago, which was such a fun ceremony. I believe we got Jonathan Del Arco officiated our assimilation ceremony, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
fun.
I love nothing more than being on a cruise ship and just looking around at me and nothing but open ocean. I find it incredibly calming. It's the sound of the waves. It's just such a great sound.
It is such a cool spot to be. And then knowing that we're in the middle of nothing, all with our big giant party of Star Trek people.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask you, Carrie, how did you first discover Star Trek?
I don't have a precise memory of how I originally found it. I remember watching, I think, TNG episodes. I've got a fairly decent memory of. I'm pretty sure of watching the finale. And I remember my mom had a major crush on John Delancey back in the day, back when he was on Days of Our Lives playing Eugene. I literally grew up with soap operas. So as soon as mom noticed John Delancey on Star Trek, she goes, I remember him. I don't remember his character necessarily very much. I remember the character his character was married to. She was very much like Lwaxana Troi, like all kinds of crazy outfits and everything. So just kind of very slowly, I went and saw the Generations in the movie theater with the man who is now my husband. We didn't get married for many years after seeing that together. We were just friends back then. And when my ex and I were together, I remember Voyager being the first series that I remember watching first run, beginning to end, and we watched Enterprise after that.
Okay,
So, yeah,
so
just sort of slowly.
so Voyager for you is your first sit down and watch it live on TV type
Yeah,
program. Check through it
yeah.
that way.
That
Okay,
that I remember
sure.
clearly
Yeah,
intentionally watching.
Sure.
yeah, that makes a difference.
It's a good series to start with too.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, if you had to isolate one character in all of the franchise, who would you say would be your favorite character?
I have 4
Okay.
that I kinda wrote that are before the new before Discovery and Starfleet Academy, they were definitely Q and Lwaxana.
Okay.
Okay.
I just love how over the top both of them are. Q is
Wow.
just a riot. I love every single one of Lwaxana's outfits and wigs. She is just the best. And then Discovery comes along and Tilly, and I
Right.
absolutely adore Tilly. I relate to her so much with the whole the rambling and how awkward she feels and how much of a klutz she feels like. Is I am a major klutz. I feel like I can walk across a perfectly flat surface of floor and find something to trip on. Yeah. And then Starfleet Academy comes along and Sam. I
Okay.
adore
Mhm.
Sam. She is just
Yeah,
the cutest thing.
I
I
agree.
attach to her almost immediately.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do. Yes, I
And
do
of course
love.
Tribbles.
Oh, Tribbles, yes.
Mhm. Mhm. That's fun. That's fun. And those are all very good characters and good reasons to be connected.
Mhm.
So that's fun, and I love that it does evolve over time. Like what and that showcases that you mentioned Q and Lwaxana Troi
Lwaxana.
first.
Mhm.
Those two, I love the book that was written, Q in Law, where it was the merging of
Oh
those.
yeah, yeah. I think I remember reading that book in high school.
I was gonna say I would imagine you'd read it if those were two of your favorite characters. It was a very
Yeah,
funny book. It was good comedy for sure. And those are fun and I love that it keeps going with the new Trek too.
yeah.
Both of those characters, Tilly and Sam are both just great. I just love
Mhm.
the
Um,
fun that we get this. I don't know, especially with Sam, it's like getting to sense the world from that new perspective, those new
yeah.
it's almost like Data season 1 a little bit where they're learning to be human and we get the
Oh
enjoyment
yeah.
of the ride
Right.
along with it, and sometimes
Mhm.
some of us are taking notes on what it means to fit
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm. So,
Cool.
favorite character is hard to pin down, I get that.
Yeah.
What about can you narrow down to a favorite episode or movie for you?
I have one one favorite from pretty much all of them, but
Mhm.
I would have to say, and I'm not sure if you can see it behind me or not. I will turn around and grab it. But I think this will give you a clue as to my
Of
favorite
Rosa.
episode.
Yeah.
I unashamedly love Sub-Rosa, and when the seventh rule started our TNG journey, I Cirroc had not seen any of the episodes, and I waited so long until we got to that episode, and I knew it was gonna get ripped to shreds, and I freely admit that it is incredibly mockable. But I love that. I love a good cheesy gothic romance. My favorite musical is Phantom of the Opera, if that tells
Mhm.
you anything.
Yep.
Sure,
So
sure,
I
yeah.
can't resist, and Ronan is just he's gorgeous. The hair, he's got a very much kind of a Phantom of the Opera vibe to him. Beverly
Right.
looks amazing in the entire episode. Yeah, I love that. I was so excited to finally get to talk to gush over that one.
That's
That
funny.
I
that's
was
a
probably
fun
the
one
only
to
one that
talk
did really
through.
like it, but that's okay. I knew that going in, that it's not as popular, but
It
I love
does
it.
come up a lot in Star Trek fandom. It doesn't come up a
It
lot as
does.
a favorite, but it does come up a lot.
Yeah.
It's infamous,
Yes,
Yes, exactly.
absolutely, yes.
very much.
Well, Christy, if so, speaking of, Star Trek and all of the fun things that, we see on a daily basis or when you watch the episodes, if you had an invention that has not yet been created from the Star Trek universe, what would be your invention and why?
Um, Well, one that has is a transporter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody already beat me to that. I love to travel, but I've got rods in my back from scoliosis correction
Okay.
surgery. So long plane rides and I don't get
Ugh.
along very well. So I absolutely want a transporter. And of course, somebody else already beat me to the replicator. Huh, I'm not sure.
Those are both good
Well, those
ones.
are both really good. I mean,
So
yeah,
the new
it
spin
was.
on the question is,
Yeah.
how would you personally use the inventions, especially if only you had access to them?
Uh, oh yeah, so much travel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Where's the first
it
place
would
you
make
go?
yeah. Hmm?
Oh, I'm sorry,
First
Carrie.
first
Yeah,
place.
first place you go. Uh-huh.
Well, up until the Star Trek cruise announced that it was going to be sailing out of New Orleans next year, I would have said New Orleans because I want to find Anne Rice's house and take a picture
Okay.
in front of it. I
Okay.
have been wanting to go to New Orleans ever since I watched the movie Interview with a Vampire and immediately read the book after in 1994. I've been obsessed with Anne Rice and New Orleans and Lestat ever since.
Right.
Absolutely. I actually went down that pathway as well back in the 90s, reading through all of Anne Rice's stuff and
Mhm.
definitely had that fascination, that love for the
Yes.
world that she's created. And I look forward to Star Trek Cruise coming out of New Orleans
Mhm.
next year. That's
Yep.
definitely going to be a good spot to see and take photos with
Yeah.
for sure.
I agree.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The architecture down there is just beautiful.
Well,
It's gonna be neat, for
yes.
sure, and to see, it's interesting because whenever Star Trek fans all of a sudden converge on a place, it changes the place a little bit,
Oh
like
yeah.
Well, and I know
Yeah.
that the day before they were talking, some folks in the Facebook group were saying, "Hey, let's deck out in, Star Trek garb and let's walk the street." So, like I said, that'll be a lot of fun to observe and participate in.
Oh yeah.
how would that be any different than a normal day for us?
Right.
Very true.
Like, literally, this is what I wear everywhere.
Right. That's funny.
Carrie, let me ask you, Star Trek has a lot of moments where it makes us think differently, either about the story, about the world. Do you have any of what we call those mind meld moments, like where your mind was just blown?
Um. Yeah. Yeah. One in particular. One selfish one and one in particular. The selfish one. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched Starfleet Academy yet. But the second adult Jake Sisko popped up
Mhm.
on screen, having been a member of the Seventh Rule for the last 4 years, I screamed. So I was watching it at like 4 o'clock in the morning, getting ready for work. Luckily, my husband was on a business trip and wasn't home because I absolutely would have woken him up. I was so excited. I had no idea he was going to be in it. No idea whatsoever. So that was a happy surprise.
Sure.
Oh,
But the other one I mentioned was there's a scene in or very early on in Star Trek Discovery where at the end of a day, Dr. Culber and Stamets are just chilling at the end of the day, talking, brushing their teeth, just talking
Mhm.
about their day, just completely normal. No mention. "Oh, this is a couple of two guys. No, they're
Right.
just a normal couple, just going about their day to day, brushing their teeth, giving each other crap. I love just how normal they just put that across and just sort of left it there. I loved that so much because unfortunately, with when TNG and Voyager and that were on, they couldn't really do that very easily in the 90s. Unfortunately,
Right.
but the way they were able to do it in Discovery was just so fantastic to me.
it's funny because Star Trek really is always reflective of the time period it was filmed in, obviously.
Yeah.
and that
Mhm.
does come with it. And in fact, we've covered that a few times on the show where there's episodes that, especially from TOS, that by today's sensibility kind of
Oh, yeah.
are a little jarring. Even some TNG episodes that are a little like,
Oh, yeah.
did we really do that? But I like that because it does show that we are always, as a federation, we are always going forward and going into new territory. And we're seeing that reflective in representation, which is really
Yeah.
an awesome thing in storyline. Can I ask you a follow-up, Carrie? Why do you feel representation is important in film and TV?
Just to trying to figure out how
Yeah.
to say this because I'm I'm a cis white chick, so coming from that perspective, I like that other groups are being able to see more of their stories is just
Right.
so important because it's been however long, hundreds, tens, hundreds of other years of our stories. It's time for it's everybody. There's other stories out there. There's more than just the one bookshelf in the library. There's an entire library full of stuff. Everybody needs to read all the books.
I like
I like
that, Carrie. And as a lesbian, Voyager, Captain Janeway, if Kate Mulgrew were to knock on my door right now, I
Mm.
mean, I'd do whatever she told me to do because I love, I mean, but that time frame, and I know that there was, talk of at one point in time, Janeway and Seven of Nine, but again, she took on a more motherly role. At least that was the scuttlebutt.
Was there
Yeah,
talk or was that
there.
fan fiction, Trekkie?
Well, there was
Yeah.
ultimately a heck of a lot of fan fiction that went out there, but there
I
was
was gonna say,
talk
I
at
bet
one
there
point in
is.
time of having, a gay or lesbian character on, because again, they kinda tried to do that with Beverly Crusher when Will Riker was the Trill a little bit, and then
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
said she's
yeah.
Mhm.
just not quite to that point, and then, of course, Lenora
Will.
Khan and Jadzia Dax. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
so but there was talk that they were trying to branch out into that and that they didn't know exactly what the character. So I appreciate that as well as, I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's so many stories out there, it just who somebody happens to put their head next to at night, shouldn't necessarily
Yeah.
deter somebody in
Exactly.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, Carrie, just out of curiosity, and again, Star Trek can shape us in so many different ways. How has being a fan of Star Trek, how do you feel that that has shaped you and your growth through your life?
Oh, so much. Prior to the Star Trek cruise, hubby and I, we were just on Facebook, following a couple of people. He had been following George Takei's Facebook
Yeah.
page, which was how we found out about the Star Trek cruise to begin with.
Oh.
He was talking about how he was going to be on the cruise too, and we're like, the cruise too. There was a cruise one. How did we not know about this? Oh, of course we got to go. And we couldn't go on the cruise 3 because we already had another, like, 2 week long other cruise we were doing that year, and we couldn't quite justify it that year, but we've been going every year since. And so it's just like like I said, a dominoes is how I think of it. George Takei led us to the cruise. The cruise is how I found out about the Delta flyers
Yeah.
and the seventh rule. And I got a job where I could listen to pretty much whatever I wanted to on my headphones all day long. So I started listening to the Delta flyers, and I started listening to the seventh rule, and going to one of the conventions after the cruise, and getting to meet in person a couple of the other associate producers that I had been just enjoying the heck out of watching the old recordings. Like, I think it was like a month or two at the most later when I'm like, okay, it's worth the money. I got to get in on this. And 4 years later, I'm having a blast. If you'd have told me in high school that in my 40s I'd be writing limericks once a week about Star Trek episodes, I would have told you you were crazy. It's just been insane. And yeah, through the cruise, I've met so many people with the limericks. One of the Facebook pages I'm a member of is the Star Trek family that's
Oh yeah,
admin
yeah.
by Mark and Lisa Sickle. And last year they started online fan magazine called Engage. Kind of
Oh, nice.
like you guys, but like with the exclamation point.
Yeah.
And
I like
it's a monthly fan magazine, and I'm like, you know what? I'll contribute some limericks to that. So I contribute three limericks and issued to that.
Nice.
Except for one issue, the Mirror Universe issue, I branched out and did a couple of sonnets
Okay.
because I decided my Mirror Universe counterpart
Right.
wouldn't do anything so pedestrian as a limerick. No,
That's
my
nice.
Mirror Universe counterpart only writes sonnets because her favorite character is Khan. So
Okay.
and he loves Shakespeare. And when the Seventh Rule did a review of Khan for the Greatest Generations pod crawl that they did last year, I
Uh-huh.
decided to stretch a little bit and attempted my first sonnet, and I wrote a sonnet all about Khan, which was so much fun.
Fun.
That
Wow.
is
Yeah, it's just a series of crazy dominoes.
So you're creative with crafts and with limericks and
Yep.
like wordsmithing. And so you have a lot of creative juices going. With that said, have you ever thought, or if you had the opportunity to suggest a new type of Star Trek show, what show would you like to see?
The one I want to see the most has already been proposed. I want Star Trek Legacy. I need more of Captain Seven. I need more Rafi. I need more Jack Crusher because the man is gorgeous. I actually got to meet him on the cruise a couple cruises ago. He is just this absolute sweetheart. I need more of that. The post-credit scene with him and Q, I need more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get Susie Plaxton back as the female Q again because she is the best. Her female Q on Voyager, that is probably my favorite. That's my favorite Voyager episode is the Q in the Gray. That one is so much fun.
Now she played
Yeah.
Alexander's mom also,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, she
She's
did.
done a phenomenal amount of different characters,
Yep.
and
And Dr.
until
Solar, the
somebody
Vulcan
told
doctor.
me
Well,
they're
and the
the same
Andorian.
person, I didn't even recognize because I
Yeah.
believe her in each of those roles. She's good.
Yeah, I can see a little bit of Kalar in her female Q.
Okay. Yeah.
Just that little bit of Kalar sass kind of came through there. And her chemistry with John Delancey was just off the charts awesome.
She's had an opportunity to play in very cool roles too, because they're memorable. They may have been only in 1 or 2 episodes here or there, but my goodness, we remember.
Oh yeah, she sticks out.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I think
She
she
was
was
also
on.
Shran's
Yes.
right-hand person too in Enterprise. I forget her name on Enterprise.
Yeah.
But yes, there too, she was a very different character there too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Yes.
watch a lot of stuff, so I recognize people from other things. Like yes, some people they don't even have to open their mouths, and I recognize them instantly. I'm always shouting out on the Seventh Row. I'm shouting out the guest stars in this episode. I remember them from this, and I always get the most excited whether if it's Gilmore Girls or Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman are my two favorite. I get the most excited about because those were filming both kind of around and just after kind of the same time, especially Dr. Quinn.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
There's a lot of
crossover with
overlap
Dr.
there.
Quinn, like actors and actresses?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I'll have to do some rewatch of Dr. Quinn at some point and be looking.
I love that series so much.
Well, it's kind of. I'm doing a rewatch right now of Law and Order from like season 1, and there's tons.
Wow,
Andrew Robinson was in one the other day, and I was talking to my mom on the phone because I've got her to start going to cruises and stuff. And anyway, I said, "Oh, it's Garrick, it's Andrew Robinson," and she started laughing. And I said, "He's just a simple tailor. He's not the bad guy." And so, yeah, I mean, but Criminal Minds has a lot of that too. Like Doug Jones has played a couple of different things that I absolutely love. Doug Jones. So yeah,
I adore Doug. The Doug hugs
the Doug
are
hugs.
the best. I got one from him on the cruise that in the afternoon, the day on the cruise we found out that Kenneth Mitchell had passed. And man, did I need that. I need that hug.
Right.
His first cruise that I met him on, he was already in the chair, but he could still talk on his own.
Sure.
And as I do, I I'm crafty. That year I made these little photo magnets that I was giving out as gifts, and he hosted trivia the first night. So I went up and asked if I could give him that, and he couldn't really take it from me. So he had me put it in his pocket, and he told me about a project his daughter had been working on that she had covered in resin. So we bonded over that a little bit, and
Nice.
the cruise that we had in person that turned out to be his last cruise after they got going again after COVID. I hooked up with someone on Etsy who took a bad stick figure drawing and a couple of reference photos and created this cute little cartoon drawing that had him in his chair looking in a mirror, and in the mirror was the Klingon that he played on Discovery, so that
Right.
he could see that even though he's in the chair, when he looks in the mirror, he sees his inner Klingon. So I was able to give that to him, and he asked if I could give him a hug, and I gave him a hug. And someone sitting at the table that I had been sitting at took a couple pictures for me. And when he passed, I decided I got, with like 2 years later, I got that artwork that I had commissioned. I got that tattooed.
Nice.
Oh,
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
very sad
dog
to
hugs
hear.
are magic and healing.
oh,
Yeah, dog hugs are very much magic.
They very much are. Yes, I look forward to have. I know he's not scheduled for this next cruise, but I'm hoping his,
you
get
never
me
know.
Doug Jones works out. You're right. I was just gonna say. I
Mm.
think Gates McFadden had to pull out, and now we've got Brent Spiner.
Oh,
So I mean,
Okay.
we're like I said, with people doing different things, who
It
knows what
never
will
stays
happen
the
Yep,
on.
same for
they're
the
working
beginning of the
actors, so
year to that.
stuff's gonna happen.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited that I saw, Celia Gooding, and then Mary Weissman is coming back. So because I
Okay.
enjoyed, yeah. So Tilly is going to be on there, and I love the
And
cosplays.
Jason Isaac is coming. I couldn't be more
Yes,
excited to have Lucius Malfoy.
True.
absolutely, yes. And I liked him in the OA as well. So like I
Mm.
said, he plays some amazing characters also. So
I always think back to The Patriot and how much, like, when my family went to see that movie, how much it was like,
Mm.
He gave us the Professor Umbridge type feeling, the
Yeah.
or the Kai Wynn feeling, if we're
I
gonna do a
win,
Star
Mm.
Trek
yes.
reference, like, and anybody that can get you to have that much emotion,
Mhm.
good
Oh, for
acting.
sure.
Good acting,
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely. I
Definitely.
had I a part of me, like, in Discovery, and I understand that his story arc came to an end. It would
Yeah.
have been cool to have seen our Prime Universe Lorca and what exactly did happen to him, and if, somehow he
Yeah.
miraculously, because I think the
Who
storyline got.
knows? He might still be around in Strange New Worlds. He could. And I want Harry Mudd to come back for one more episode before
Yes.
Strange New Worlds is
Yeah.
done. Rainn Wilson was
I agree.
phenomenal as Harry Mudd. It was he honored the original guy that did Harry Mudd very well.
He really did. He pulled
Yeah.
that off quite. I was a little like, how's Dwight Schrute gonna do this? And then when we saw him, there was no more Dwight Schrute. It was Harry Mudd. Again, great
Right.
acting. He does a good job inhabiting that
Yeah.
character. Oh, that was. I would love to see more Strange New Worlds. Even I would love to see like 8 more.
Yeah.
Seasons. Like,
Why not?
Yeah.
I
I
saw a
think.
sad photo earlier today that was like the strike down of the set of the
Mhm.
bridge, and I was
Uh,
like, and I guess that always happens at the end of every movie and every TV show,
Right.
and we've been to enough conventions and whatnot that we see they can really rebuild those so easily. But in my mind, it's like,
Oh,
no,
sure.
don't break it, don't tear it
Yeah.
apart. Mm.
Yep. I wonder what we're all, some folks aren't too keen on what's new Trek. Well, unfortunately we're about to be in Star Trek hiatus, and so,
Yeah.
be happy you've got something rather than nothing, so to speak, and
Yeah.
is always my mind. Yeah.
Well, for like the last 20, 30 years, I've been happy with reruns
Oh,
too.
right. I was just that's true too. It's
Yeah.
just given me, what at least 100 more hours of new Star Trek that I can add on to my
Oh, it's awful.
career.
Carrie, Trekkie and I both rewatch Star Trek a lot. Is that something
Mhm.
you do in your household as well?
So, somewhat, not quite as much since I joined the Seventh Rule, but there is actually a reaction channel that I follow called the Gallifrey. They're not called the Gallifrey Pals. They used to be the Gallifrey Gals, but one is now a they them, so they changed it to
Yeah.
Gallifrey Pals. And
Nice.
I found them when I was looking for like podcasts and you like YouTube videos of people watching the episodes that I was prepping for the Seventh Rule. So then I joined their Patreon, and when I'm doing my homework for TNG, after I watch the episode straight, I'll watch them watch the episode. So I've been enjoying their journey through it, and I started their journey through Lower Decks, and they've been having a blast with that.
Mhm.
And they just started both DS9 and Voyager.
Okay.
They're watching DS9 together. Cat and Paula are watching DS9 together, and Cat is watching. No, they're watching Voyager together, and Cat is watching DS9 alone.
I gotcha.
Paula has seen it and didn't really want to do a rewatch,
Deep
which
Space
it's
Nine
perfectly valid.
of Deep Space Nine?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a harder
Paula did
rewatch.
not care for Deep Space Nine, but Cat still wanted to watch it, so Cat is watching that one alone with Paula joining for a handful of select episodes, but they're watching Voyager
Like the
together.
Cable episode?
I'm extremely behind on both the Voyager and Deep Space Nine episodes, so I'm not sure if she's joined any Cat for any of the Deep Space Nine episodes yet. I don't think so,
Oh, okay,
based on
sure,
based on
sure,
the emails, but we'll see. But I've been enjoying them rewatching it, so that's sort of how I've been
sure.
rewatching it.
I
But
like
I'll
that.
I'll get there.
Yeah. Well, Carrie, kind of what we've mentioned on the show before is, Trekker. I mean, being on the cruise, you're there for 7 days with people of like-minded, interests
Yes.
and stuff. But I mean, there were a couple of times this last cruise that we stayed out until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning on
Oh yeah.
on deck 4 or deck 11. Just chatting about Star Trek. So,
Oh yeah.
real, we really like this, and thanks for sharing all of these different.
Yeah.
Because again, I mean, there's folks that may just be starting out and they think that the only Star Trek is really what we see and what's been, on prime time and stuff, but there's so much more content
Yeah.
with podcasts, with all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a gentleman on the other day that is part of, Trek culture, and there's a whole channel that has different
Oh,
Star Trek.
Sean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean, yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I met him last year on the cruise. He is a delight.
he is a delight. And again, it's the cruise. Not everybody that we want on, I mean, that we have on the show or one on the show are, cruisers.
Oh yeah.
The mindset that Trekker and I were talking about is when we go on there, it just makes it so much more communal that, hey,
Yeah.
even if they haven't, actually spoken to you, anybody who might be watching this, hey,
Yeah.
I know a little bit about Carrie, and it will make them feel more comfortable, and by proxy, hopefully you and
Yeah.
us, because
Mhm.
we're, outgoing but introverts at the same time.
We're a weird mix.
We're weird, right? Yeah,
Very much.
depending on. So yes,
Outside the cruise, I'm
yeah,
very much like that. The cruise has been my safe space. I have
yes,
only done karaoke or either on the cruise. I've done it twice at the local Chicago convention twice, and
nice,
I've done on the cruise is definitely the safe space.
absolutely.
Everybody is there for the same thing. You can walk up to anybody and instantly have something to talk about. I haven't done yet since we've been doing the cruise so many years in a row. Haven't done a regular cruise since,
Yeah.
but I think it's ruined me for regular cruises, and there's a reason why hubby and I have been going so many years in a row now.
Yeah.
We're hooked. It's it's not the cheapest thing in the world
Right.
by any means, but it's worth every penny.
Yes. It's at 7
Absolutely.
days, and we've, like, had people that, go to the different conventions and such, and as somebody had put it, you can like, if you're in Star Trek Las Vegas, you can walk out of the Rio, and you may not have somebody who's, Star Trek minded, so to speak, but,
Oh yeah.
again, for 7 days, you've got your
Mhm.
people there that you can completely nerd out. I mean, and just Truly
Yeah.
feel comfortable with the infinite diversity and the infinite
Yeah.
combinations that, we all are Star Trek fans and such. So,
Absolutely. You could step out of that Las Vegas convention and you could start talking to somebody about Spock and get mugged because they just want to take your wallet. I dare anybody to steal my stuff on one of those ports off of
right.
a cruise ship. No, I'm just kidding. But when you're on the cruise ship, you're definitely meeting good people that are Federation.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
and you
absolutely.
never know from one second to the next whether you're gonna run into one after another just walking on into the elevator or
Yep.
walking into the buffet late at night. You never know who you're gonna run into, and that's just the best thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
even just, you don't have to, go gobsmack over, stars and actors and such, but just that little personal communication of, "Hey, how you doing?" and stuff.
Yeah,
Treat them like a human being and then, they'll
yeah,
do the same
exactly.
thing. But like Kitty Swink, I happened to run in my mother and I happened to run
Mhm,
into her and Armin like 3 times on the elevator this last year.
mhm.
And it was just, very quick little conversation stuff, but very pleasant. And it was just, and then because you hear not anybody on the cruise or anything, but you hear the horror stories with actors of, how they're not
Yeah.
necessarily the best out there. And it's just nice to see them as humans. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Kitty a little bit on the
yeah,
last cruise
he's
in
lovely.
Puerto Rico. Her and Armin attended Mark and Lisa's vow renewal
Mhm.
that they did down by the fountains. I chatted with her a little bit, and Armin was hanging out by the wall, and we were both looking down at this gigantic iguana that was hanging out down there. I mean, that thing was massive. So we were having fun talking about that little guy for a minute.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I still will always remember her yelling at Armin when he was teaching Shakespeare 2 years ago, and he had done something or said something different, and you hear Kitty yelling, "It's this, Armin, it's this," and, I mean, just those
Yeah.
true human, interactions, so to speak, so, no, that's
It's one of those
awesome.
normal married couple things.
Yeah, I mean, they've been together forever and ever, and, yeah, just, none of us would necessarily speak to Armin that way, I don't think, but just,
Hold my
being
beer. No, I'm just kidding.
right. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for that, Carrie. At this time, we're going to pew, 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 the
Pew!
phaser fire questions. So I just have a couple of funny little things, or at least what we think are funny. So of this or that type of thing.
You
So
better laugh,
yeah.
Carrie. I'm just kidding.
Bring
Just kidding.
bring it.
So
Let's go.
Carrie, would you rather have your consciousness swapped with a tribble or a moopsie?
Being a fan of vampires, oopsie,
Moopsie.
as much
Okay.
as I
All
love
Okay.
right.
tribbles.
I get that. Would you rather work within Section 31 or the Obsidian Order?
Oh, Section 31.
Yeah. Okay. I get that.
You wanna
Just
do
out of
what you
curiosity,
wanna do.
why?
I love I am one of the defenders of the Section 31 movie. I
Okay.
enjoyed the heck out of it, flaws and all.
Can I ask you, though, before we go to the next question, Trekkie, Carrie, is there any Star Trek episode or movie that you wouldn't defend?
Oh, yeah, there are 2 what I call Deanna Suffer episodes in TNG that being in a my first marriage was an abusive one that I'll never watch again.
Hmm.
Is that one
Trying
where
Oh, where the
Yeah, there's the Betazoid guy,
mhm.
that episode, and the guy that turned her hair gray.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
yes. Uh-huh.
yeah, those 2 episodes, I can't watch it, and they remind me too much of the ex, especially the second one, the way he bragged about what he had done to Deanna. The ex
Uh,
was a lot like that.
I got that.
uh-huh.
I got that. If
Well,
you
yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
go for it, yeah.
No, I was just gonna
Thank
say,
you.
kind of jumping back into that, if you opened a bar on Deep Space Nine or 10 Forward, and you had a signature drink, a signature cocktail, what would it be? What would you name it?
Mhm. Would Well, my favorite color is purple, so it would definitely be something purple.
Okay.
Mm. Oh, I'm not sure what I could something with nebula in it, maybe.
I was just
Okay.
wondering about that. That's actually what
Some kind of
popped into
fancy
my
word for
head.
purple nebula.
Okay. Okay. I
Nice.
like that. Would you rather accidentally trigger a temporal loop or a mirror universe swap?
Ooh, both would be fun.
I know, right?
I don't know. If you get stuck in a temporal loop, you might get really bored after a couple of years.
I don't know. I'm a major fan of Doctor Who, and one of my favorite Buffy the Vampire Slayer episodes has a scene where she's stuck in a loop. And
Yeah.
after a while, when they say, frack it and just doing whatever, that's when those episodes really get fun.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Both.
that's
Okay.
fun.
So I'm going to follow up with that. The mirror universe, do you want to be when the Terrans are in charge or when the Alliance has taken charge?
If I get to hang out with the Intendant and Worf's mirror counterpart, absolutely.
Okay.
Viva
All right.
la
I like that.
resistance.
There's stipulations in each of it. I totally agree with you on that. So, would you rather be stuck on a ship with a broken replicator or broken artificial gravity?
Oh, broken artificial gravity.
Okay. That's what
Same.
Trekker and I were talking
I'm
about.
extremely picky. I have to have a working replicator.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
same.
Again,
I
how Voyager
cannot live
did it.
without my working replicator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Would you rather share a small Starfleet apartment with a newly joined Trill or a Maquis and Cardassian?
Trill. They'd have better stories.
Okay. Okay. Did you like Esri on Deep Space Nine season 7? I know you guys are into that right
I
now, and I'm not trying to
I
put you
did.
on the spot. Did you? Okay.
I did it.
I
I
kind
hadn't. I don't think I watched I didn't have too much of memory of a lot of the
Mhm.
episodes. So I went
Mhm.
in with it new, and
Okay.
I liked her.
Yeah. I get she came well, and I mean, it's all been spoken about before, how she came into a beloved role. I mean, I love
Yeah.
Terry Farrell, and I actually went
Mhm.
on to watch Becker, which she left Deep Space Nine to go play on
Yeah.
Becker for and such. And it's kind of like Pulaski again. Love or hate Pulaski. I mean, there's
Mhm.
definitely redeeming qualities about her, but I wish there would have been a little bit more than just one season to have
Yeah,
her
and not
actually
Yeah.
just
stand
5.
out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
because again, I think like a lot of us, we weren't too keen, but knowing now,
Yeah.
25
Mhm.
years later, we understand what was happening. Is she took
Yeah.
made the best of the situation that she was put into. But
Mhm.
yeah, I've actually, the more I watch, because Deep Space Nine is currently, again, it can change, but Deep Space
Yeah.
Nine is my favorite series. And I always dread when Jadzia walks to the temple, but at the same point in
Yeah.
time, it's fun to see. It's kind of, making the customers, sorry, the actors, the characters uncomfortable, but seeing how they have also grown. The only thing I don't like
Yeah.
is how they did Worf with her. Yeah. Anyway, I'll get off my
Yeah.
soapbox on that portion.
Yeah. My feeling on that is they just had to do it the once and get it out of the way, because
I
otherwise it
agree.
was going to be the sword hanging over them the entire season. They had to do
That
something about it, and then okay, yeah, we're done, moving on.
yeah. That's a fair statement, and yeah, I mean, it was because of course, Worf was uncomfortable the first time he saw her and such, so yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Well, wouldn't you be?
Oh,
I
I mean,
mean,
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not a Trill, and I'm friends with most of my exes still, but yeah, it would be a little bit awkward, I think, if my wife, who is dead, comes back and
in a different
hi,
body,
Worf.
it's not gonna be with you now? Great.
Yeah, right, right,
But right there, right at where you work and
right.
live, like, oh my goodness,
And
yeah.
she's a shrink. Holy shit, a
There's too
young
much
shrink at
happening.
that too. So, Carrie, do you think that the Prime Directive is like a perfect moral code, or is it a deeply flawed suggestion?
Mm,
Ooh.
Deeply flawed.
Okay, okay,
It needs to be clearer.
okay.
It's not nearly clear enough, I think.
It is
So,
funny how sometimes they'll observe it, and then
Yeah.
other times you'll see
Yeah.
Captain Kirk go straight down onto the planet with phasers and people, and it's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's look at all the natives on this planet." And it's like, when are you not observing the warp,
right.
you know
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then they
It
had a
needs to
big
be like the
problem.
rules of acquisition, nice and clear cut. This is what you do.
That's exactly right. A deal is a deal until a better one comes along.
I'm thinking that must be a rule.
That is a rule, yes. Yes, that is. I think that's 98 if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that one.
Are all of them written and known?
No, so my mother and I were actually just having a conversation about that because we were looking about, what swag we wanted to take on the cruise. Because
Yeah,
that's one of the for us, that's, a fun part. We pick up swag, and somebody comes home with a pin or whatever it might be, Anyway, and they just think for that brief moment, even if it's in the junk drawer, they're like, "Oh, I had a good time on that cruise," or something. Anyway,
Oh
true.
yeah.
I'm big into Ferengis, and so we were talking rules of acquisition. There's technically, at this point of time, known 299. However,
Okay.
not all of the 1 through 299 are known. So, like, it skips 2 and 3, I think, and then
Mhm.
6,
Okay.
7, and 8 or whatever. It's just randomly thrown out there. So I
Yeah,
Okay.
think
there's like a book or something of them that was published
Okay.
yes.
that I've heard about, but I haven't seen a copy of.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the Ferengi Rules of
Okay.
Acquisition.
Uh-huh.
Again, I've talked about this in the past. Armin Shimmerman, well, and John Delancey, I like audiobooks. I'm a Teddy
Mhm.
Ruxpin kid from back in the day, so I
Yeah.
like
Oh
people
yeah.
telling me
I
stories.
remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I'm a
but
Care Bear, so yeah.
okay, okay, I gotcha. But Armin Shimmerman does the Legends of the Ferengi. If you guys have not listened to that audiobook,
Oh
actually, again,
yeah,
was
I love
telling my mom,
audiobooks.
he goes as Quark. He goes and he tells, I think he goes over like 25 of the different rules of acquisition, but kind of tells the story
What?
behind how the rules
Came about
came
or were
into
learned. That's cute. I
pass.
like that. I could
It
see
it's a
that.
it's a good 2 hours, let me just
Mhm.
throw out to you.
Oh yeah, I've been enjoying his insights on the Delta fires very much.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah, I like and he's a very sweet man as well, meeting him in
He
person, Armin
is.
is yes. So, our most well, not the most important question, but the
The
question
most
that yeah,
important.
I
Yes.
know. Carrie, do you consider yourself a Trekkie or a Trekker?
Honestly, Trekkie is what I've heard first, and it just sounds better.
That
Sounds
one
better
feels
to
good.
me.
Okay.
So
It
yeah,
was just
I'd probably say Trekkie.
cool, yeah, and like I said, Trekker and I love each other, it's not
Yep.
trying to build rifts in the
It's
community, it's just
Tracker!
yeah, right. But we just happened to it was actually this last cruise, we just happened to be sitting there, and I called myself a Trekkie, and I think you said you were a Trekker. It just kinda became this joke between us, and again, this is all about branching out and meeting more of the fans, behind the
Yeah.
fandom, so to
I
speak,
feel
so
at this point, 95% or more of
are Trekkies.
Trekdom is
Yeah.
Trekkie and not Trekker, and
Yeah,
that's okay. That's okay.
yeah, absolutely.
We
So
can't all be perfect.
that's funny, that's funny.
I have to circle back, Trekkie, on
Yeah,
something you mentioned. You said that sometimes you get a pin from a convention or a cruise and it's in a
mhm,
drawer and it makes you happy.
mhm.
Do you have a junk drawer full of happy pins like that?
Well, so yes, I mean, it's not all pins. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I love the magnets. I'm a big magnet person.
Okay,
My
sure.
entire fridge
Oh
is
yeah, I have
Yeah.
from the
I have a
Lost
magnet
area.
addiction.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I actually so this is my office and this is my Star Trek area because otherwise and other fandoms, Doctor Who and all of that.
Yeah, me too.
And again, she loves me very much, but my mom teased me. She goes, "You cannot have all of your Star Trek stuff literally all around your house." So I've got the posters from the cruise, those are
Oh,
downstairs, and then I've got, pictures of, meeting folks. I just haven't put my Doug Jones or the ones I did this last year and such up there, but yes, I magnets. Somebody a couple of maybe it was no, it was 2 years ago, did postcards, like, couple different folks
Oh,
did so it's just a Star Trek
I
junk
think I do
drawer.
have a postcard.
Yeah.
I have a bag of swag, is that the best word
Yeah,
for it? And
yeah.
it's some
mm,
things are handcrafted, like somebody
Mhm.
that, like, stitched mushrooms. This came
oh
from the Star Trek cruise, it just kinda
Right.
sits over here, like, I do have a lot of stuff like that, but then I also have a bag of things I
Mhm.
didn't find homes for
Correct.
that at this
yeah.
point I don't know what to do, so I actually brought them on the Star Trek cruise again thinking I would, like, re-gift them,
Uh-huh.
and I
Mm,
went back home with them, so I
Right.
did I know.
Well, a lot of the 3D printer stuff, like,
yeah,
2 years ago no, sorry,
Yeah,
again, I
I
can't
know.
believe we're already in July. Last year was Voyager's 35th no, 30th, excuse
yeah.
me, And so a lot of people, I mean, I even did a theme on Threshold because it's a horrible episode, but I love that fucking episode
Robbie
so
loves
much.
that episode.
Right. I mean, I had, and other people did like the little the Janeway pair of salamander babies.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I've got, I mean, this is one that I actually purchased, but I found so many different little Horgons and such. What I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for
Uh-huh.
is and I can't think, I want to call them Denobulin, but the little things that went in the ears on Rafficon. And I know
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah.
somebody had earrings about that, and then, that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff.
Like these?
Yes.
Yep, I got those on the cruise, and I put them on my little Starfleet Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
That's a cute idea, actually.
It's just little things, and I
Were
want
they
them.
from SETI Alpha 5? No.
City Alpha, that's what it
City
is.
Okay.
Yeah, City Alpha Pop.
I mean, but for me, it's just, and I've got stuff hanging, I can't tell you how many people see my stickers on the back of my car, and it's just a brief little interaction, and either it's a this or, hey, you like Star Trek. And I will tell you, a lot of people don't know about the cruise. So, Carrie, I've seen, things way back when, and I'm glad you shared with us because I know you had said you'd been on, well, 8, and I know we're about to be on 10, so I was wondering the ones that you didn't get to go on and such. But, I mean, it brings people together, so
Mhm.
I have no
Yeah.
problems talking about it, and it makes me smile every time I see something.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And I'm looking forward because now on the next cruise, we now know one more person, Carrie.
Yeah,
that-
Oh,
that
absolutely.
we get to chill out and geek out together when we're in person because that's what we do good.
Right.
Yeah, and come to karaoke. So I'm gonna try my hand at it on the cruise. I've only done AJR songs so far because they are my favorite band.
Nice.
Very very much looking forward to attempting some more AJR on the cruise.
Fun.
Sadly, the two non-Star Trek cruise karaoke sessions, they only had like a pre-printed list. So and sadly there were no AJR songs there.
Right.
Meteorologist Katie, if you're aware of her, she offered to do karaoke with me the first time, and we did "Call Me Maybe"
Okay.
by Carly Rae Jepsen, which was fun. And this last convention back in Chicago last November, I went bold, I was brave, and I tackled "A Million Dreams" from the Greatest
Nice.
Showman. I was so nervous, but Cirroc was hosting that year, and he was an excellent cheerleader. I got a big hug afterwards. It was
Nice.
excellent.
Oh.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Well, Carrie, I thank you very much for joining us today. Was there anything you wanted to, any last words that you wanted to impart on
Uh-huh.
anybody who may be watching or to the Star Trek community and as a whole?
Um, from everything I've seen and everything I've experienced, the Star Trek fandom, especially on the cruise, is just so welcoming. Think we could do a little bit better of, if I don't like it, you're not allowed to like it thing. We need
Right.
to be better with that. But that aside, it's still very very welcoming. I've been having a blast getting deeper and deeper into it. It's I just am having a blast. Jo- being going on the cruise and joining the Seventh Rule has been just one of the best things I have ever done.
Well, thank you for trekking out in so many different ways and helping
Yeah.
build the Star Trek community
Absolutely.
into what it is.
Anytime.
Mhm.
Well, Carrie, we look forward to speaking with you again, hopefully before the cruise, but definitely on the cruise.
Yeah.
And everyone, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed our podcast, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.
Engage.